Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Matt Jarbo here with $3 the Eater with some bad news. I hate to report on this kind of thing because I could see it coming. I think a lot of us could see it coming, but unfortunately, it's here and it looks like it's going to be real bad, especially if you are a Disney file. Because what we're finding out today is Disney to furlough staffers whose jobs aren't necessary at this time. This is coming in from the Hollywood Reporter, and a lot of other outlets are covering it as well. Disney has issued a statement, which we will talk about here in a second. But yeah, what we're seeing right now is a situation where, unfortunately, Disney is going to be absolutely cutting non-essential workforce people at the parks, and that is over six figures. That is over six figures. That is insane to me. But I completely understand why it's happening. I just don't like any bit of it. Saying here that the Walt Disney Company will begin furloughing its employees as it grapples with the impact of park and store closings and tent poles that have been delayed, as well as a downturn in TV advertising amid the novel coronavirus pandemic. This is what they said. They said here that the Burbank-based media giant said its staffers whose jobs aren't necessary at this time will be furloughed as of April 19th. The affected staffers will receive full health care benefits, plus the cost of employee and company premiums will be paid by Disney. And that is something I do want to make abundantly clear is a very good thing. While they may not be getting their paycheck, they will have their health care covered. And that is what they need right now above all else. So that is good guy Disney on this one. It sucks that they have to do this, but good guy Disney on this one. Going on to say here, it's unclear which divisions are expected to be hit the hardest with furloughs, although sources say that the directive will impact Disney's film empire, which includes a myriad of labels, including distribution and marketing. Since the company closed its $71.3 billion acquisition of most of 21st Century Fox last year, there have been staff reductions in multiple divisions. Disney did not immediately respond for comment. Of course they didn't, but this is definitely something that they have responded to with their statement, which is what they say here is the COVID-19 pandemic is having a devastating impact on our world with untold suffering and loss and has required all of us to make sacrifices. Over the last few weeks, mandatory decrees from government officials have shut down the majority of our business. Disney employees have received full pay and benefits during this time, and we've committed to paying them through April 18th for a total of 5 additional weeks of compensation. However, with no clear indication of when we can restart our businesses, we are forced to make the difficult decision to take up the next step and furlough employees whose jobs aren't necessary at this time. The furlough process will begin on April 19th, and all impacted workers will remain Disney employees through the duration of the furlough period. They will receive full healthcare benefits, plus the cost of employee and company premiums will be paid by Disney, and those enrolled in Disney Aspire will have continued access to the education program. Additionally, employees will be available with available paid time off can elect to use some of it or all of it at the start of the furlough period, and once furloughed are eligible to receive an extra $600 a week in federal compensation through the $2 trillion economic stimulus bill, as well as state unemployment insurance. So look, Disney is doing what they have to do, and I get it, but reading the statement and giving them healthcare, giving them benefits still, and helping them maintain being Disney employees during this time is a good thing. And more companies, Amazon, should definitely be doing this, Amazon. And it should be something that all these big, massive mega corporations should do to help everyone. If you want to know even though this article is good on that front, there's one little thing here that did catch my eye, and it goes to show you kind of what's happening and how many people are going to be impacted. So there's this one paragraph here I found saying Workers United Local 50 President Christopher Duarte, who represents the food and drink cast members at Disneyland, of which there are how many? A lot, told the Hollywood Reporter that furloughs may impact the non-union hourly employees, which he estimates are around 10,000 workers for the Anaheim park. Disney executives are currently in talks with the union on how to proceed as the union is protected from furloughs. Now, this is where we might see a situation where Disney itself finds themselves on the side of being the bad guy, because they're like, listen, we want to make sure that everyone is compensated, but we also, can't afford to pay all those wages, and so they might have to figure that out. But the unions are going to be a tougher fight. Sadly, the other 10,000 non-union employees are going to get furloughed. And that does go to show you why workers' rights are a key issue here. And I think Disney is doing the best that they can. But at the same time, given all of the money that they have, right, the billions and billions and billions of profit that they make every single year, the question then becomes, Why don't they just keep paying them all the way through it? And I get why they're not and all that. And the healthcare thing for me is the most important, but that union fight is going to be tough. That union fight is going to be really, really, really tough. And it's not going to sit there and work out well for anyone involved in it, I think, but that's where we are. However, that's not entirely the only problem. So the furlough is definitely in response to where we are, but now we need to talk about how bad it's going to be when things get back on track. If the current situation is on track to be over with by maybe midsummer, when it gets warm enough to kill the virus here in the United States. That doesn't mean it's not going to impact other countries, like the countries in the Southern Hemisphere, which will be going into their winter at that point, and this is when the virus will really take over in the Southern Hemisphere. So that is something to consider. Again, not good news, but let's look at this here. This is an article that came in from Variety a couple days ago from Adam P. Very, saying here movie theaters and concerts could see major attendance drop post-pandemic, saying in a survey of 1,000 consumers in the United States, 44% of respondents say they would attend fewer larger public events. And even once they are cleared by the CDC, with 38% saying they'd attend about the same number and 18% saying they'd attend more. And 47% agreed that the idea of going to a major public event will scare me for a long time. And you can blame the media for that, but I do think that in essence, it is necessary to beat this into people's skulls that this is real, that this is a bad situation, and that the faster we self-isolate, the faster we flatten the curve, the faster we can stop the spread, and the faster we can get back to normal. But the more selfish some people are, and I've seen photos out of New York and LA of massive public gatherings that are still happening, no spatial distancing, and people generally just saying, well, I'm not impacted by it, why should I care? Well, we're talking about 10,000 people from Disneyland that aren't going to have jobs for a while. And even when they can go back, who knows if that's even going to do well, because even the same thing with theaters. Let's continue. Now, it goes on to say here that the news for movie theaters was particularly grim, with 49% of respondents saying it would take a few months to possibly never for them to return, and 28% saying that they would attend movie theaters less often once they're safe, while 15% of respondents say that they plan on going to the movies more often post-pandemic, and 58% said that their attendance won't change. The net effect suggests an alarming erosion of theatrical returns that exhibitors and studios alike can ill afford. And that is, again, when you talk about movies like Black Widow and Mulan that are currently delayed, today Paramount delayed, Top Gun and SpongeBob and, A Quiet Place Part 2, and you've got Wonder Woman coming out in August, and, we don't know what's going to happen in July, and it's just going to be down for a while. Yeah, studios are going to have a hard time, very much have a hard time attempting to make this work for them. But in the meantime, the biggest problem here is going to be Disney in regards to the theme parks, because this is where we see some real dire stuff. According to the Variety study here, major indoor concert venues, indoor sports venues, and of significant interest to Disney, theme parks appear to be the hardest hit by the pandemic, with 56%, 51%, and 50% of respondents respectively saying that it would take anywhere from a few months to possibly never for them to return, even after they've been deemed safe. A third of respondents further said that they plan to attend indoor sporting venues and indoor concert venues less often after COVID-19 has been subsided. Outdoor parks and beaches, outdoor sports venues and zoos and aquariums appear to be least affected, with 64%, 56%, and 55% of respondents respectively saying that they would return right away or within a few weeks. Because I think at that point, what they're looking for there is spatial distancing, right? They can move around a bit more. Disneyland gets crazy. Disneyland is insane when it comes to packed houses. It's insane when it comes to kind of, herding everybody together. And that is going to be what people are going to fear for quite some time, whether it's a few months or perhaps even a few years. Eventually, Disney will be back on track. Eventually, these companies will be back on track. But in the meantime, this is a hardcore reality we are dealing with. So it sucks that all of these people that rely, not only is it just the 10,000 people that work there. Think about this. The entirety of like Anaheim, California and the surrounding areas live and thrive off of Disney parks, off of the tourism. And if the tourism is going to dry up, think about all those mom and pop businesses that live off of that. that are going to effectively dry up and potentially die. This has dire, massive, massive effects. The ripple of it's going to be felt for years to come. And the only thing we can do is work together to flatten the curve, to stop the spread, and hope that the whole of the world's medical community can develop tests and vaccines and treatment super quick. And I know the vaccine is down the road. I know it's down the road. But for right now, this is what they got to figure out. And I wouldn't really be surprised if when this whole thing is over, if Disney and Universal and SeaWorld and other places don't end up having testing kits when you walk in. Oh, are you going to buy a ticket to go to this park today? Well, included with your ticket price is a COVID-19 testing kit. So please tilt your head back, open your nostrils, and we're going to jam this Q-tip in there and find out whether or not you're asymptomatic or you're a carrier. And that's going to cause more fear. And that's the problem. I don't know what we're going to do here. But it's going to be get ready for being inside for quite some time. So hopefully, and I don't want to be, I'm not trying to be dreary or downtrodden on this one. I believe we will recover faster than not. I do believe that. But it does require people to act with integrity up front. And I don't think we're getting a bit of that. I think we're getting a lot of selfishness out of that. So that's something we got to continue. But I think that's where we are right now. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. I look forward to what you guys have to say. If you made it this far, do me a favor, type Disney in the comment box, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell, pay attention to twitch.tv/3bucktheater. I'll be streaming later on tonight. We'll be able to talk more about this in real time. If you have questions, you can always hold off for that, but definitely leave me a comment in the comment box. Have yourself a great day, everybody. And also, if you want, if you're able to become a channel member, help the channel stay around. Trust me when I say it's not just Disney employees that are getting screwed by all this. People who cover the media, there's no media to cover. Talking about these diseases, this situation, YouTube automatically demonetizes. So I'm just saying, if you got $1 you can throw down through a Cash App or through Patreon or through become a channel member, it immensely helps out, keeps news coming every single day without the fear of being shut down by the man, which is unfortunately something we have to still deal with. Anyway, I will talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day. See you tonight on twitch.tv/3bucktheater, and peace the hell out.